Hello students, we were studying the tribals, Dikus and vision of a golden age. This chapter, today we are going to start the next part of this chapter. In this video, first of all we will start with the communities and their particular regions. See this map, Gaddi 1 Gujars, Himachal or also known as Gaddi Shepherds. Shahariya in Western Rajasthan, Bhil also in Rajasthan, 1 Gujars, Gujarat, Baigas, Banjaras and Gonds in Central India, Baigas also found in Chota Nagpur Plateau region, Maria Gonds and Paraja, Bonda, Kandha, Koya and Saura and Khonds also found in the region of Odisha, this region. Santhal, Munda, Oron in the region of Jharkhand, and Santhal also found in West Bengal. And after that, Hazong, Khasi, Koch are found in northeast Meghalaya, Assam, Naga in Nagaland, Apatani, Nishi in Arunachal Pradesh, especially in Arunachal Pradesh. After that, Koya, Banjara, Gonds also found in Andhra Pradesh, Banjara in Maharashtra, and also found in some parts of Madhya Pradesh, southwest Madhya Pradesh, Bhotia in Uttarakhand. So these are the main communities of tribal groups found in different regions of the country. Now we'll discuss about the problem with trade. In the previous video, we were discussing about the effect of the colonial rule on the tribal people. So what kind of effects were there? So this is the particular topic about the problem with trade. Means the people in the tribal regions in the forest, the tribal groups used to collect various kinds of commodities from the forest, and they used to sell them, and also they used to supply the different kinds of commodities to the different groups in the society. So what was the problem after colonial rule and after passing the forest laws? During the 19th century, tribal groups found that traders and moneylenders were coming into the forest more often, wanting to buy forest produce, offering cash loans and asking them to work for wages. So in this way, tribal people started to work for those people, and it took tribal groups some time to understand the consequences of what was happening. Let's consider the case of the silk growers. In the 18th century, Indian silk was in demand in Europe markets and other international market. You know very well, in the previous videos we discussed about it. The fine quality of Indian silk was highly valued, and exports from India increased rapidly. As the market expanded, East India Company officials tried to increase silk production to meet the growing demand. Hazaribagh, this is the area situated in the Chota Nagpur Plateau region in present day Jharkhand, was an area where the Santhals reared cocoons. Cocoons means silkworm, also known as for production of silk. The traders dealing in silk sent in their agents who gave loans to the tribal people and collected the cocoons. The growers were paid 3 rupees to 4 rupees for 1,000 cocoons. So these were then exported to Burdwan or Gaya, where they were sold at 5 times the price. The middlemen, so called because they arranged deals between the exporters and silk growers, means tribal people, made huge profits. The silk growers earned very little. So after reading these few lines, we can understand that only the traders and or mediators or suppliers, just they used to get the profits, but the real workers, means the tribal people who were in fact producers, for example silk growers, they did not get so much profit, whatever they had to get, but they did not get. they used to earn very little profit. So understandably, many tribal groups saw the market and the traders as their main enemies. So in this way, they started to work in the beginning for them. But later, when they found that they are in big loss and only the traders used to get the profit, so they used to consider about themselves, about them, that they are enemies of tribal people. So now you can see this figure 10. Coal miners of Bihar 1948. In the 1920s, about 50% of the miners in the Jharia and Raniganj coal mines of Bihar, from where coal was extracted, and were tribal people. Work deep down in the dark and suffocating mines was not only back-breaking and dangerous, it was often literally killing. In the 1920s, over 2000 workers died every year in the coal mines in India. In this way, you can understand only for dangerous work, the tribal people were considered fit for that work, and they used to work in the very dangerous sites in the coal mines, etc. Now, the search for work. The plight of the tribals who had to go far away from their homes in search of work was even worse. From the late 19th century, tea plantations started coming up and mining became an important industry. Tribals were recruited in large numbers to work the tea plantations of Assam and the coal mines of Jharkhand. They were recruited through contractors who paid them miserably low wages and prevented them from returning home. You can understand the big impact of the colonial rule or the colonial policies. Here we can understand one more thing, that the tribal people in the beginning, they were completely dependent on the forest, and forests were like their homes, and they used to collect the different commodities and they used to hunt there, and also they earned their livelihood from the forest. But after the entrance of colonial rule, colonial people, after the entrance of the traders, and after passing out some of laws, forest laws, their lives became very miserable. And in this paragraph, you found that in search of work, they used to go in far areas, and where they used to get work in the mining sites and other industries and tea plantations at very low wages, where they used to get very low wages, due to which their lives became more miserable. Understand? Now let's discuss the source. Source 1. A time to hunt, a time to sow, a time to move to a new field. Right? Time to hunt. This was their traditional practice. Time to sow means during the shifting cultivation, they used to sow. And time to move to a new field means definitely it is regarding shifting cultivation. Verrier Elwin, a British anthropologist who lived among the Baigas was the community, and Khons of central India for many years in 1930s and 40s, gives us a picture of what this calendar and division of task was like. He writes, it was all kinds of activities were done under a calendar according to this. For example, in Chet, women went to clearings to cut stalks that were already reaped. Men cut large trees and go for their ritual hunt. It means the men used to cut the trees and then they used to hunt in the forest. The hunt began at full moon from the east. Traps of bamboos were used for hunting. The women gathered fruits like sago, tamarind, mushroom, and Baiga women can only gather roots or kanda and mahua seeds. Of all the Adivasis in central India, the Baigas were known as the best hunters. Baigas were known as best hunters. You have to remember, in Baisakh, it is a month, the firing of the forest took place. The women gathered unburnt wood to burn. Men continued to hunt but nearer their villages. In Jait, it is also a month, Sowing took place and hunting still went on from Asad and Bhado. Means these are also the months in our traditional calendar. The men worked in the fields. In Koar, the first fruits of beans were ripened and Kartik Kutki became ripe. In Aghan, every crop was ready, and in Pus, winnowing took place. Pus was also the time for dances and marriages. In Magh also is a month, shifts were made to new bewars, and hunting gathering was the main subsistence activity. So this cycle described about took place in the first year. In the second year, there was more time for hunting as only a few crops had to be sown and harvested. But since there was enough food and the men lived in the bewars, it was only in the third year that the diet had to be supplemented with the forest products. So this illustration has been means taken from adapted from Varian Elvin Baiga 1939 and Elvin's unpublished notes on the horns. Warrior Elvin Papers, Nehru Memorial Museum and Library. So dear students, this is a calendar given the knowledge with the knowledge of the people of tribal groups in central India, that how they used to do all kinds of activities during the whole year, right? And here the months have been described here with the traditional names, right? So in this way we have discussed in this video the about topics. You have to revise these topics, read from the textbook, and in the next video we will study about Birsa Munda in detail. Thank you. Have a nice day.